In today's market review, we're going to look at the apartment condo market. We're talking about low-rise and high-rise apartment condominiums downtown and all around the city. To make our stats a little bit more accurate, we're going to divide the city into different quadrants. We're going to look at the northeast section first, the northwest section. The southwest section, what we're talking about is Springbank, Discovery, Aspen, those areas. The deep south, the southwest and the southeast. And inner city. Okay, so we're going to start with the northeast. So in the northeast, we had 25 sales in March, and when we look at how that compared to last month, we actually had more sales last month, 27 in February, and we've got a higher sale price per square foot in March than we did in February, and of that, our average list prices were about the same, and our average sale prices were a little bit higher. So we're actually, those condo prices moved up a little bit, and it might have increased by this higher sale here at $294, which was $362 a foot. That could increase our average a little bit, but our median price was also up. That means that's where most people are buying, and they were buying at $280 a foot. They were buying 868 square foot condominiums, pretty much like they were last month, and then they bought them for more money. Now if we look at last year as a comparison, we actually had more sales. So last year we had 35 sales. It could be the lack of inventory, which is our problem, and we've got an average sale price last year per square foot is $276, pretty much dead on with this year. So we got the but more sales last year in March, and our days on market 43 days last year and 40 days this year. So a little bit faster, but tells us that the market hasn't changed much for apartment style condos in the northeast. It's a little bit the same. Now our average sale price is up a little bit, and that could be that people are getting a little bit more square footage, or no, they're not. So the average, they're actually getting smaller properties, and the average sale price was $276 and it was the same. So not a lot has really changed up there. And if we look at what our supply is, we have 46 active listings available up in the northeast compared to, so we have a little bit more than a month's supply up there. Now those are priced on average at $270 a foot. So they're priced less than where they're selling at. So that means there's still some good buys out there. And this average square footage is a little bit higher than what would the average of what's sold. So still properties good to buy up there. And as far as the average price per square foot, the list price, the successful price was $217. So what's left on the market is priced a little bit higher, and it's a little bit bigger. But certainly the market up there is not really a seller's market like some of the other neighborhoods. Okay, so now we're going to move to the northwest section of the city. Now up in the northwest, we had 56 sold listings, and how that compared to, well, compared to February, 38 sold listings, so definitely more up in the northwest selling. And as far as our average price per square foot compared to last month, it's about the same, and it's about the same as the average sale price is about the same, and the median price is where most people are purchasing is $251 last month and $270 this month, which means that it's a little bit stronger than it was, and the price is a little bit higher than it was. So so the market's still remaining pretty strong. If we compare that to last year in March we had 37 sales, so definitely 56 compared to 37 last year, definitely a lot more sales this year in the month of March. And our price per square foot definitely up. We're looking at $25 a foot kind of across the board here, or a little bit better than last year. And our days on market is, well, in February it was 19, in March it was 28, and last year in March it was 43. So we're looking at a pretty strong year this year. And if we look at what we have on the market, we have 72 listings, and if we sold 56 last month, we have about a month and a half supply of homes to buy. Now where those fit is these ones are all about the same size, but the average price per square foot is a bit higher. The sellers are asking $326 a foot on average, and the buyers are willing to really pay $306. And our average list price is $275, which our average is about the same. So what it means is that there's a fair amount of properties still on the market, and they're priced competitively, and they should sell. Our median price was $258 as far as an asking price, and it's a little bit higher per square foot than where the buyers are currently buying at $308. But a lot of the properties are competitively marketed up in the Northwest, and there's still a fair amount of inventory up there, and the prices are definitely holding pretty strong too. So now we're going to move on to the southwest section of the market, not the deep southwest, but everything is down as far as Discovery and everything west of Sarcee, which means that it's not considered the inner city. Now looking at the southwest, 24 sales for apartment condos in the month of March. And if we look at how that compared to February, we actually had 23, which is very similar. And our price per square foot actually on average was a little bit higher for February than it was in March. But the days on market for March was actually a little bit longer, on average 34 compared to February. So it looks like the market kind of went the other way. Now that could have been because of our sales, because of February we had some higher price per square foot properties in average, but our average sale price was very, very close to the same. We compare that to last year, 28 sales last year in the same time in March, and we had an average sale price of $300 a foot. So we actually are seeing that looks like the price for apartment condos in the Southwest is actually gone down a little bit, because we had a $300 average sale price for last year in that time period. Now last year our days on market was 43. This year it's 34. So up there it looks like we have a little bit different situation happening here than the rest of the market that for the most part. We had maybe in March of this year, we just had a few properties sell for a little bit less money that maybe made our market averages go down, because they went down from February up there. So if we want to check out and see what we have for supply, we've actually got over 2 months supply left on the market, and those properties are priced at $329 a foot compared to where the buyers were buying at $291. Our average sale price is $283, or $283,000 was our average sale for March, and the remaining listings are $327. They're also a little bit bigger, so this is what's left on the market. They're priced $30, almost $40 a square foot higher than where the buyers are at, and for the median where most people buy, it's about $30 a square foot higher than where most people buy. In a market that doesn't look like it's really moving that much up, it looks to me like the sellers are asking even more money here, and they may have some difficulty here if we don't get more buyers up in that end. Now we're going to talk about the deep south. We're going to include areas like Silverado, Cranston, Auburn Bay, all of these areas, Copperfield, and these all areas seem to have a little bit of parity as far as how they compete with each other, and we're going to do an overall average on this area. Now looking at the deep south, we had 65 sold listings for apartment condos in March, and if we want to look at how that compared to February, we actually had 49 sold in February, so our sales are definitely up for a number of units. And down in the deep south, we actually sold them for more money. So it looks to me like we actually went to $305 a square foot on the average. And I'm wondering if this sale might have brought it up, but it wouldn't have. Looks like we had a sale here we had a high sale of $640,000 in February, and our market average is actually on it higher than so our high sales don't always mean that it's going to drive up the market average, especially per square foot. It just really depends on what's moving and what the buyers are buying. But if we want to compare this to last year we had 54 sales in March compared to 65 this year. So our sales are definitely up, and our price per square foot is definitely up, because last year 276.75 a square foot, and days on market 47 days last year. This year 24 in March. And if we look at our list prices were up this year. Our asking price is 264, and last year 237 for the Deep South. Now, if we want to look at it from an inventory point of view, when we look at how many we actually have available, 93, which is about a month and a half supply. And let's look at where they're priced. So they're priced at $323 a foot on average, and very close to the same size properties. $885 is the median priced properties are 885 square feet, and they're asking $306. That's not so bad compared to $299 where the sales actually are. And if you look at the sale price on the median, they're actually higher than the list price, which means that some people are actually paying asking price, if not more. So it looks like we've got a fair amount of properties still available, and the pricing's not too bad. Now, if we look at the median price on the list price, we're about $20,000 higher than where the buyers are at. And we look at the list price, we're about, on the median, we're actually lower from what's left on the market. So that's still a good time to get out there and buy. The next report will be the inner city market. Now, the inner city always has a fair amount of activity for apartment condos. 269 sold listings for March, and if we want to compare that to February, 223, and our average prices are very, very close per square foot. And our average average sale prices were actually down for March compared to February, and our days on market very, very similar. Now let's look at how that compared to last year. Last year our average sale price was $344. This year it's $342, but our price per square foot $355 compared to $400 this year. So price per square foot definitely up, and median, where's our median at here? Our median sale price per square foot last year was $353, now it's up to $395. Last year 23 days on market, so it was pretty active, and it's pretty active this year. But people are definitely paying more for their inner city condos this year than they were last year. Now, if we look at this from a supply point of view, we have 476 condominiums on the market, and we have sold listings 269 for last month. So we actually don't have even 2 months supply here. But let's look at where they're at. So our average list price is $507, and where the buyers are really at is looking for condos around $348. So that tells you a little bit what's available on the market. The higher end stuff is sitting, and it's quite a bit, $57 a foot higher, which is quite a bit actually. And our median is $885, and it's priced about $40,000 higher than where the buyers, or the heavy amount of buyers, are. And of course, when you look at our median prices here, they're still $35, $40 a foot higher than where most people are actually buying. So we have a fair amount of inventory that's left on the market that is higher priced for the buyer, and it may be sitting and waiting. People may be waiting for new stuff to come on the market. Some of the buyers just can't afford to go that high.
Realize that the market news I've just given you is based on the whole market. There's a whole other study we can do on the area that you're looking to buy or sell in. Your area may not move according to the whole market, and realize that average sale prices don't mean that a specific home would go up that percentage based on the whole market. Average sale prices sometimes mean that people are buying more expensive homes. Back when I started selling real estate, over 90% of the homes I sold were expired listings or homes that other agents couldn't sell. During that time, I learned from my clients the many frustrations that they had selling their homes.
Yeah, we had the home about, twice with some other agencies, and they couldn't sell the house. We don't know why. It's a beautiful house.
There was not any interest shown at all in our home by anybody that came and viewed it.
Too many of the other MLS realtors who'd come to show the house, they wouldn't have a clue.
We didn't get any feedback on our showing.
Last time our house was in the market about 3 months and we've never got any offers.
It's for these reasons I have a very detailed approach on the way I sell my clients' homes. But here's what my clients had to say.
So we tried to put our townhouse up for sale October of last year, and it just wasn't selling, you could say. We had some show homes in the beginning of October, and a lot of people came, but no one really made a really decent offer, and we weren't getting any feedback. After the last 2 months, November and December, we had no showings, no one was coming, and we weren't really hearing from our real estate agent anymore. So come January, a friend of the family told us about Trent and how, that he had helped them sell their house, and
don't forget how we got that in the mail.
And how we got in the mail a pamphlet that said, guaranteed we can sell your home. In which case, we both decided we'd call Trent.
And give Trent a call. And Trent came in the very first day that he came to see us, and he said, well, let's look at the market. Let's see where we're sitting at in the market, and let's make a plan of how we're going to put this up so that it's more appealing than everything else in the market in that kind of zone that people are looking for houses, in that price range, in that category, being a townhouse. And basically what ended up happening was, as soon as the house went up, exactly what we had predicted with Trent was going to happen happened. And in a very, very short period of time,
I think it was like 1 day.
I think it was 1 day.
Yeah.
We had an offer the first day and took it. Trent gave us extremely knowledgeable advice on how to deal with the initial lower offer, and it resulted in us maintaining a lot more of our value in our house.
One of the things that I noticed was really nice about how our house sold was that there was a video that was taken for YouTube, and when we went to go see it, we fell in love with our home again, not to lie. It just, it put our home in a light where you wanted to live in it. It talked about, the great things that we loved about our home when we first walked in. Just 2 blocks down, there's another house for sale that didn't have that quality of videoing, and it didn't show the aspects of the home which we fell in love with, which we found that other people did. And watching the video, you realize that we boosted so much more of our traffic coming into the house. People who were looking at it, they already were interested before they even showed up. And right away, just from the first day, we had 3 or 4 people walk through that all wanted to make offers. And assuming if we wanted to stay on the market longer, we could have easily sold the house 5-6 times over.
Well, I think what the commercial does versus just having an MLS listing with pictures and then someone has to call and then come and see it is it takes the same thing that companies do, but he does it for you on an individual basis. Companies, when they want to sell something, you see it on the commercial while you're watching the NHL playoffs or something, and you go, this is awesome, I want it. And that's exactly what his commercial does. You see it and boom, you want it.
We had our home listed for 4 months in the fall, and it just didn't sell. We had a little interest at first, but then it just died down. After the new year, we got some information in the mail from Trent, and he was able to show us the advantages of video marketing, and he showed off our home to its best advantage. It's not a show home, it's not a new home, but it's a comfortable home. And he was able to show that and get that information out to lots of people. And we had so many showings. We had 1 or 2 showings a day. Some days we had so many showings we weren't even able to come home for meals. There was that much interest in our home. Another thing Trent was able to show us was that the market was actually good in November when we had our home listed before, and that was when there was no interest shown in ours. And there were homes selling in this neighborhood for actually less than what we got for ours just this past week. sold it in about 4 weeks with Trent, and we're really excited to be, we got a price that we're happy with, and moving on.
This is just 2 examples, but in 13 years of marketing homes, I've got hundreds of examples of turnaround situations. High and low-end homes, fixer-uppers, show homes. I've marketed a home just like yours. So call me today for a low-pressure interview to discuss the sale of your home.